It was exactly 2:17 in the morning when the silence of the room was shattered by a ringing phone. Ethan slowly opened his eyes, staring at the bright screen. A heavy feeling settled in his heart. No one calls at this hour with good news, he thought to himself. He hesitated for a long moment, his thumb hovering over the screen, before finally answering. "Hello," he said, his voice raspy with sleep. A calm, serious voice replied from the other end. "Sir, this is City Hospital. Your father asked us to call you." Ethan sat bolt upright in bed. His father, it had been 7 years since they last had a real conversation. Life had swept him up in a whirlwind college, a demanding job in New York. Promotions, endless meetings, and crushing deadlines. Every time his father called, Ethan would promise himself, "I'll call him back tomorrow." But somehow, tomorrow never came. The nurse's voice brought him back to reality. "I'm so sorry, Sarah. He doesn't have much time." Those words hit Ethan like a physical blow. A storm of regret and panic washed over him. Less than an hour later, he was sprinting down a hospital corridor. The bright, sterile lights overhead seemed to stretch on forever, the silent halls amplifying the sound of his own frantic footsteps. He was moving fast, but his heart felt like it was frozen in his chest, trembling with a fear he hadn't felt in years. When he finally pushed open the door to the room, his breath caught in his throat. There was his father, lying on the bed, looking so much smaller and weaker than the strong man Ethan remembered. But despite the frailty, a gentle, knowing smile touched his father's lips. "You came," he whispered, his voice a faint rustle of sound. Tears immediately welled up in Ethan's eyes, blurring the scene in front of him. "I'm here, Dad," he choked out, rushing to the bedside. "I'm so sorry. I should have come sooner. I was just so busy, but nothing was more important than you. I see that now." His father slowly reached out and took Ethan's hand. The grip was weak, fragile, but it was filled with a lifetime of unspoken love. "I didn't call to complain, son," his father said softly, his eyes full of warmth. I just wanted to hear your voice one last time." At that, Ethan completely broke down, his shoulders shaking with silent sobs. "I'm so proud of you," his father continued, his voice growing fainter. "But just remember one thing." He paused, gathering his strength. "Never be too busy for the people who love you, because one day all you'll have left are the memories." Those were his last words. The rhythmic beeping of the heart monitor beside the bed flatlined, replaced by a single, piercing tone that soon fell silent. The room was filled with an absolute stillness, a quiet so profound it felt like the entire world had stopped. The next morning, Ethan woke up and instinctively reached for his phone. The screen was a chaotic mess of notifications, hundreds of unread emails, reminders for missed meetings, alerts from work. But for the very first time in his adult life, none of it mattered. Not a single notification held any meaning. He tapped out a short, simple message to his boss. "I won't be coming in today." Then he opened his contacts. He called his mother. he called his sister. He even called an old friend he hadn't spoken to in years just to hear their voice. Because in that cold, quiet hospital room, Ethan had finally understood something fundamental. Time is the most precious currency we have, and once it's spent, you can never get it back. Some calls, if you miss them, leave you with a regret that lasts a lifetime, and some calls should never ever be missed. Thanks for watching. If this story touched you, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that matters.